Abacus Books Incorporated presents The Casey Anthony Murder Trial, a Modern American Tragedy. Written by Claudette Walker and Matrix Filia. Narrated by John Eastman. This book is an opportunity to look inside the American criminal legal system in action. The Casey Anthony Murder Trial is the most complete account known of this high-profile murder trial of a mother charged with killing her child. Comment from the authors. The history of the death of this lovely child and the murder trial of her mother that followed cannot be rewritten or deleted. It has been preserved. Dedication. Kaylee, the wind whispers your name. Forward by David E. Siar, Esquire. How many times in my career have I hopefully asked for a judge's reconsideration of a ruling? I have no idea. In my nearly 30 years as a lawyer, with many of those spent as an assistant public defender handling only criminal cases, I have represented clients in hundreds of cases, including murder and serial murder cases. I have been lied to by my clients, witnesses, and opposing counsel. I have felt the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. I have been exposed to questionable and unethical conduct from, thankfully, a precious few opposing counsel. I have received rulings both favorable and unfavorable, and seen my share of cantankerous judges and outstanding jurists. There have been times when I have been required to advance a defense based on facts or theories I question, but no ethical lawyer will put on evidence that the lawyer knows is false. The defendant in a criminal trial is a special case, because he or she has the absolute constitutional right to testify or to refuse to testify. If a defendant cannot be dissuaded from testifying falsely, the law provides a procedure for the lawyer to allow that testimony without participating in it. Capital murder trials are like no other for a defense lawyer. No other criminal case has stakes so high. Literally, the defense lawyer holds his client's life in his hands. Despite the acts that the client may or may not have committed to reach the courtroom, a failure of the lawyer can result in the client's demise. Once a person is executed, there is no turning back the clock, no possible compensation for a life lost. That is not to say that the lawyers do not also feel for the victims. We do. The responsibility is awesome. For those of you who think that being a criminal defense attorney is all glamour, think again. For those who wonder why anyone would subject himself or herself to this life of torture, the reason is that there can be no greater satisfaction than the search for justice. William Blackstone, a famous English jurist, said, quote, "It is better that 10 guilty persons escape than that one innocent suffer," end quote. That is the rationale for our law's presumption of innocence. Those of us on both sides of the aisle who labor in the courtroom trenches seek justice. Justice is not always done. Sometimes the guilty do go free, and the innocent are incarcerated. But the rule of law exists for us all. I was asked to assist with some legal definitions and explanations in the book you are about to read. I am the, quote, house lawyer you will see mentioned. Since I am married to one of the authors, how could I refuse such an invitation? This book is a glimpse of the trials and tribulations experienced by all who are involved in the judicial process. The lawyers, the judge, and the witnesses are the ones who, with the exception of the defendant, people seem to love or dislike most. Trials engender strong emotions in us all, at least if we are paying attention to the details. Very few of us have actually witnessed an entire murder trial. I believe you will get a representative look at what really occurs in and outside the courtroom by reading this book. Speaking as one who has been there, this book gives a real feel for the action both inside and outside the courtroom in the trial of a high-profile capital murder case. The Casey Anthony Murder Trial, a Modern American Tragedy. The estimated cost of this trial will be in the millions of dollars. Quote, "To lose a child is out of the natural order of things. I have lost a son. Any failure to participate in the police discovery of information pertaining to a missing child leads to overshadow my objectivity in this case. End quote. That was a statement during jury selection by an honest prospective juror who was excused for cause and who is not on the final jury panel for the trial of Casey Anthony. This book contains the trial's participants, the legal system, and the media. Part 1. Chapter 1. Why? No other single word is less relevant or more relevant in the death of Caylee Anthony. Caylee Anthony, not quite 3 years old, had been missing for 31 days before a police report was filed. That, we believe, is what brought worldwide media attention to this case. We have heard the 911 calls and seen thousands of pages of discovery documents filed in the court by the prosecution and defense for the upcoming criminal case. The mother, Casey Anthony, has been tried in the media and presumed guilty by most who have heard the massive media coverage. Now the questions are, what of this information will be admissible, and what other evidence yet unknown will make the courtroom? Who will judge her on that evidence, and what will the result be under the judicial system of the United States of America? Caylee's bodily remains were located in a wooded area on December 11, 2008. Her body was found approximately a mile from the home Caylee had always known. Who took Caylee's life is the question. We are seeking the answer to that question through the police investigation, in the media, and finally, in the American judicial system. Does the justice system really work or not? Who are the characters of the courtroom drama? We will freely express our own opinions of the actions and the inactions of the lawyers, the judge, and the witnesses. Still, we will base our verdict only on the evidence we see and hear in the courtroom. Why? No other single word is less relevant or more relevant in the death of Caylee Anthony.